Chris has worked in the field of human services for 30 years, an ANCOR member for many of those years. And in that time, he has had numerous opportunities for involvement with ANCOR, including being a member of the Board of Representatives, the Board of Directors, and also serving on various task forces, committees, and serving in leadership roles as well. And Chris believes so deeply in what ANCOR is working to accomplish. He illustrates that belief by his service, by his efforts to bring people together to further that cause. As president of the ANCOR board, Chris played an instrumental role in ANCOR's executive director transition. He has worked consistently to establish solid relationships with many federal and state legislators, participating in legislative fly-ins and annual Hill visits, just to name a few things. As co-chair of the National Advocacy Campaign, or NAC, Chris worked tirelessly to advance the standing and the compensation for DSPs and to maintain critical Medicaid funding. And many might recall him speaking at the NAC rally in Washington, D.C. In his own words, he said, "We must be influential and effective advocates so that our society continues to provide support for those persons who are most vulnerable, most at risk of being oppressed, marginalized, and neglected. The fruits of our labor are a community where all are welcomed and appreciated for their unique contribution." And that is a very worthy goal that he works towards daily.
Greg Wellems has worked in the field of serving individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities for more than 31 years, 26 of those years at Imagine, located in Colorado. Throughout his career, he has also been an active member of ANCOR. He attended the very first ANCOR Summit back in 1994, and since then has supported the organization in many ways. He served on the ANCOR Board of Representatives from 2008 to 2010, on the Board of Directors from 2010 to 2016, and recently rejoined the Board of Representatives. He has presented multiple times at ANCOR conferences, including at technology summits and at management practices conferences. He was even on the very first Technology Summit Planning Committee. Greg's commitment to ANCOR's mission is unquestionable, as is his dedication to creating a world of opportunity for all abilities. Congratulations, Greg, on this well-deserved honor.
Darren's skills go beyond his acute understanding of politics and how best to structure and implement strategic advocacy efforts. Darren has a unique ability to bring calm and reflection to any situation and make sure that the focus is always what is best for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. He has done an exceptional job representing ResCare with internal grassroots advocacy and the external national political groups such as NGA, RGA, DGA, and national legislative groups. For several years, he has been leading the work of the ANCOR Government Relations Committee, both as the co-chair of the National Advocacy Campaign and most recently as the co-chair of the Save Our Services campaign. In 2016, Darren was awarded one of the inaugural Sue Ellen Galbraith Awards for Advocacy by ANCOR. Darren has recently been appointed to the ANCOR board and continues to provide passionate, expert, and invaluable advocacy and leadership. His depth of understanding of our field, coupled with his respect for the political process and his charming wit, make him a true leader.
Mark Davis has been the president, CEO of APRA now for over 5 years. His accomplishments in the area of state budget and public policy development have been outstanding. At that same time, he also ascended to the chair of the state execs committee for ANCOR and led that particular forum in assisting ANCOR members with public policy development at the federal level, comparing what was going on with in other states, so that all of the members of ANCOR could benefit from services and supports that ANCOR could promote at the federal level. We have had the exceptional service of Mark doing maximum amount of commitment to service.
Three years ago next month, I became Alaska's first state association executive for our Alaskan Association, AADD. And at that time, I had the great good fortune to have Alaska already strongly connected to ANCOR through many of our past volunteer presidents, such as Steve Lesko and Emily Ennis. That ANCOR connection has served us in more ways than I have time to tell you about today. What I do want to talk about here is through the amazing Diane McComb, who facilitates the state executive gatherings. In my introduction call with her, she offered to link me with a mentor. And Diane, ever so wisely, selected Judy Goodwin, the long-term executive director in Oklahoma. Some of the similarities were obvious. Oil, not huge population, single-person associations without staff. But what made the mentorship so very powerful for me were the similarities in our values and how we work with people. In my very first encounter with her, I was trying to set up a call with our 3-hour time difference, and I had suggested a time. She said she'd be traveling that week. Another time didn't work very well, and I once again requested a meeting for the same week she'd already told me she was traveling. And her response to that request was to say that she must have miscommunicated. No, she would be traveling that week. She miscommunicated? Well, someone really wasn't working very well, but it wasn't hers. But how could you help but fall in love with a person whose response to your blunder is to own it themselves? I have so benefited from her mentorship, as have so many others. I wish I could list her many concrete accomplishments, but Maya Angelou is so accurate when she shared, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, and people will even forget what you did, but people never forget how you made them feel."
Our next legacy leader, Bruce Nelson, was the CEO at ARRM for 21 years, since 1995, just a year after ARRM became a member of ANCOR. As the CEO, Bruce was involved in activities of our state association executives, including the Region 5 summits with CMS, and participation in numerous ANCOR conferences, and involvement with the government relation activities of the association. Before coming to ARRM, Bruce served as an information officer for the Minneapolis Planning Department and Minnesota Shade Tree Program. He was a teacher of public relations for nonprofits through the University of Detroit. Bruce was a speechwriter, a newspaper reporter and editor, a communications director for a gubernatorial candidate, a public relations consultant, and a freelance writer and photographer. Bruce also served as the chief of staff for the Minnesota House of Representatives Health and Human Services and Tax Committees, where he played a pivotal role in developing Minnesota Care. He's also worked as a lobbyist for the Hazelton Foundation, but ANCOR members know Bruce best as the leader of ARRM, one of our Minnesota State Association members. Congratulations to Bruce.
Donna Werner's career has focused on advocating for and changing the lives of people who live on the margins of society, both in the U.S. and internationally. She began her career teaching children on an Indian reservation. Later, she worked for the Illinois General Assembly as a women's advocate. As a volunteer, Donna has served on her local school board and served on national and international boards and committees, including many years serving at ANCOR on the Board of Directors and Government Relations Committee. Donna came to Mosaic more than 28 years ago. During her time with the organization, she helped lead Mosaic to a first-in-the-nation network certification by the Council on Quality and Leadership. Donna also pushed the organization to ever higher levels of quality, defined by advocacy as an essential part of the work we do every day. Outside the U.S., Donna helped launch a sister program in Great Britain that today has become a partner. And Donna also helped to lead an international alliance of providers dedicated to creating communities where all are welcome. Although she has traveled extensively for her work around the United States, to Europe, Africa, and even the Middle East, when asked about memories, it's not places or events that Donna speaks of. Instead, Donna tells stories about the people she met, especially those who have disabilities or who were overcoming some form of struggle or isolation. Donna is a fierce advocate and a person you want to have on your side. The mission of Mosaic, the mission of ANCOR, and the lives of people with disabilities are better because of Donna's work. She is a worthy recipient of the ANCOR Legacy Leader Award.
Ann Moffitt, Keystone Human Services Vice President for Community Development, coordinates public relations functions, develops fundraising programs, and takes the lead in community outreach and volunteer recruitment and training. And we've nominated her to be in the Foundation Legacy Leaders Circle because of her work with the ANCOR Foundation throughout the years. She has most notably had a long-term commitment to the Foundation Board, where she's been instrumental in helping to create the annual awards program, promoting the development of new leaders and innovation in the delivery of supports and services to people with disability, and building partnerships to provide professional and leadership development to providers and their employees. Another thing about Ann you'll see is